right, let's get right into it. Today, we are cracking open the user's guide to one of the most amazing pieces of engineering you'll ever own, your arm. I mean, we use it for literally everything, every single day, but what's really going on under the skin? Well, let's dive in and check out the blueprint.
Seriously, just for a second, think about it. The last time you picked up your coffee, or pulled a door open, or just waved at someone, did you ever stop to consider the incredible machinery that just kicked into gear? It is a wild symphony of bones, muscles, and nerves, all working together perfectly.
So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to treat your arm like we're looking at an architectural plan. We'll start with the main support structure, and then we'll layer on all the machinery and all the wiring that makes the whole thing work. And for this tour, we're focusing specifically on the upper arm, so everything from your shoulder down to your elbow.
And just so we sound like we know what we're talking about, there's a formal name for this area, the brachium. So anytime you hear me say brachium, just think upper arm. Easy enough, right? Okay, first things first. Every great building needs a solid foundation, a central pillar. And in your upper arm, that foundation is one single powerful bone. And that bone is called the humerus. It is the longest and, believe it or not, the only bone in your upper arm. It acts as the central scaffolding for everything else. I mean, every muscle, every nerve, every vessel we're about to talk about, it's all built on or attached to this one core structure. Now, the humerus isn't just some boring old stick of bone. It's got all these really important landmarks. You've got the smooth round head up top that pops right into your shoulder socket. You've got the long shaft, and down at the elbow, go ahead and feel for those two bony bumps on either side. Yep, those are your epicondyles. And all these grooves and bumps are there for a reason. They're perfect attachment points for your muscles and create these safe little highways for nerves to pass through. It's pretty clever. All right, we've got our bone pillar. Now it's time to add the engines, the things that actually create all the movement. And the muscles in your upper arm are organized so neatly, you can basically think of them as two opposing teams, each with a very clear job. And this right here just shows you the simple genius of your arm's design. You've got the team in the front, the anterior compartment. These are your flexors. Their main job, bending your elbow. And their team captain is, of course, the famous biceps. Then you've got the team on the back, the posterior compartment. These are the extensors. Their job, the exact opposite, straightening your arm out. And their captain is the triceps. It is a constant, perfectly balanced tug of war. So let's talk about the star player, right? The biceps brachii. This is the muscle everyone knows and loves to show off. When you flex, yep, that's your biceps contracting. It's the main engine for bending your elbow, but it also does something else cool. It helps twist your forearm so you can turn your palm to face up. But you can't forget about the powerhouse on the other side, the triceps brachii. With its three separate heads, is the muscle that gives you the force to push things, to throw, to straighten your arm with some real power. It is the direct rival to the biceps. So we have the structure and we have the engines. But how do those engines get their power? And how do they know what to do? Well, that brings us to the next layer of our blueprint, the arm's absolutely essential wiring and plumbing. The technical term for this whole system is the neurovasculature, but I think it's way easier to just think of it like this. The nerves are the electrical wiring, zapping signals from your brain that tell the muscles to contract. And the arteries? That's the plumbing, the fuel lines, delivering all that oxygen-rich blood the muscles need to work. And what's so cool is how this wiring is laid out. It is not a random mess of cables at all. The musculocutaneous nerve is assigned specifically to the flexor team, so the biceps, and the radial nerve is wired directly to the extensor team, the triceps. How efficient is that? The other two major lines, the median and ulnar nerves, mostly just pass through on their way down to control the forearm and hand. And hey, here's a great fun fact for you. You know that crazy zinging, tingling feeling you get when you bang your elbow just right, the funny bone? Well, it's not a bone at all. What you're actually hitting is the ulnar nerve, right where it runs unprotected behind that bony bump on your elbow. So yeah, you're literally zapping your own nerve. Kind of makes you wince just thinking about it, right? Okay, now for the plumbing. The brachial artery is the big one, the main fuel line for the entire upper arm. It runs right down the middle, carrying all the oxygenated blood that your biceps and triceps are constantly demanding so they can do their jobs. Now, all of these systems, the bone, the muscles, the nerves, the arteries, they all have to travel together. And they all converge and pass through one critical, crowded choke point on their journey down to your forearm, the elbow. This busy intersection has a name, the cubital fossa. It's that little triangular hollow you can see and feel on the inside of your elbow when you bend your arm. It's not just some random dent. It is a major hub of anatomical traffic. And the organization in this tiny space is so precise. If you were to look inside, moving from the inside of your arm outwards, from medial to lateral, you would find these structures packed in perfectly in this exact order. First the median nerve, then the brachial artery, and then the big thick tendon of your biceps muscle. It's an absolute masterpiece of biological packing. And just like that, our tour is pretty much complete. We've seen the whole blueprint of the upper arm. We started with the humerus as our central pillar, we added the two opposing muscle teams as the engines, and then we hooked it all up with the nerves and arteries, the wiring and plumbing that brings the whole thing to life. It's really an extraordinary piece of natural design, isn't it? Capable of both incredible strength and the most delicate, precise movements. So I guess the only question left is, now that you have the user's guide, what are you going to create, lift, and build with yours?